All right, we should be live. I'm gonna have to have a short intro there. Having technical difficulties. Hopefully everything is good now. I want to cover tonight's card. First of all, I passed out earlier. I can't even remember what time it was. I think it was the AM. I think it was AM. I literally passed out while I was live. Like I was in and out of consciousness while I was live. I'll get back to that some other time, though. But bear with me. So I want to start, of course, with the spectacular finish. Whoever shines the brightest on any given night, that's what I'm going to start with. And of course, it was this character here. Now, people who follows MMA or WMMA, who have followed WMMA for a long time, we've known of Wang Cong for a long time as the fighter who defeated Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match. And I'm talking, we've known about Wang Cong for years. Others just now found out about Wang Cong. And a big reason for that is because she just recently started her MMA career in 2022. So far, undefeated. After tonight's victory, she's now 6-0. This is her UFC debut. But I don't think she had any UFC debut jitters. That was one of the most comfortable looking fighters in performances I've seen. That is the most comfortable looking UFC debut I've ever seen. Especially from a fighter who only got 5 pro fights. She looked like what she is, a seasoned veteran with a lot of fights. And she won by knockout, but she defeated Victoria Leonardo, who is on a stoppage streak, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Not too bad, 2-fight losing streak, but she's lost 4 of her last 5, and she lost all 4 fights by TKO. Yeah, TKO by Manon, Melissa Gatto, Natalia Silva, and now Cong Wang, or Wang Cong. But it was still first round stoppage. And it looked good. Good optics. And you consider the fact that took Manon, 2 rounds? She got her out of there in 1. Now, in earlier this year, Wang Cong fought Wu Yanan. That fight is on YouTube. I have watched that fight, and you can tell, you've always been able to tell that she had a lot of speed. And I think that's going to be what breaks many of her opponents. But she's a character, isn't she? A Joker persona. Smiling at her opponents with Joker paint on her face. Even though her opponent's not smiling back at her, you see. She's don't care. She's into her character. And that's all that matters.
从眼神中看出了一点点坚定哦，希望你坚持完1回合吧。
Okay, so the UFC strawweight division has taken a strange turn for the good. Not quite the character many people expected to see, especially on a UFC debut. Fighters are usually, a little more, I don't know, PR friendly. I want to say professional, but UFC and everybody welcomes characters like this. Somebody confident enough to have a character like that, and as an undefeated fighter. But like I said, it's good optics when you go in there and finish the fight like she did. I'm not saying just because it was a first round stoppage. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm primarily talking about the fact that it was a one-punch knockout, which is extremely rare. Almost unheard of. It's pretty much unheard of with the females. A one-punch knockout where it's one punch, the opponent falls, smacks their head against the canvas, the referee waves it off immediately, jumps in between her and her opponent. That is virtually unheard of with women. And that is exactly why the ringside commentator, cage-side commentator, immediately after the knockout said she's ready for the top of the division right now. How telling was that when he said that at cage side? I don't know that guy's name, but if you were listening, you know his name. I watched the Spanish version live, and then I went back and watched the fight again just to hear what the American commentators had to say about the fight. And he wasted no time in pointing out, oh, she's ready for the best in the division right now. And if you ask me, it's easy to see that. That's how behind women's mixed martial arts is. That's just what it is. That's not trying to, cut on them or insult them or nothing like that. I'm just pointing out where they are as far as evolution, as far as how they compare to the men. Because customer satisfaction is measured by the standard that men set, the male fighters set. And men deliver the optics of one-punch knockouts. And there's a type of appreciation for a one-punch knockout that you can't get from a one-kick knockout. It's different. A one-punch knockout is more respected in combat, in mixed martial arts. Let me just say mixed martial arts, because it's pretty common in boxing. In Muay Thai, one punch, to this day, even with the influx of mixed martial arts, to this day, the most aesthetically pleasing strike to see end a fight with one strike is still a punch to the face. In my opinion, in the eyes of most people, even though head kick knockouts do look aesthetically pleasing, they're probably number two. It's probably a close second, okay? I'm being fair. I can hear the Muay Thai people with their panties in a bunch already. A head kick knockout is right there, but it's a close second. She caught her right on the jawline, which is an area where a lot of girls land, but they don't get a knockout. A lot of girls land, but don't get knocked out. But what I want you to understand is where her power came from. It came from her form, right? I don't think it has much to do with her having incredible power. I think it has more to do with her having excellent form, above average form. And I believe proper form always gave Valentina Shevchenko more punching power. Y'all remember when she hurt Priscilla Cachoeira? Shevchenko stunned her. She hurt her. She stunned her. And you rarely see Priscilla get rocked by punches, by fist punches. Even though that was Priscilla's debut, I knew that was significant because I watched all of Priscilla's fights before she made her UFC debut. And I saw she had this iron chin. But Shevchenko rocked her, and she had to stumble back from a punch. Now, that right there told me Shevchenko got above average power, and it's all because of her proper form. Same with Wang Cong. And I'm telling you now, Wang Cong got serious power, hurt you power. Not just in her fists, her kicks as well are super hard. She already knocked one chick out with a head kick with kicks. And you see how fast they were. She threw one in this fight. You could hear the wind. You could hear her leg cut through the wind. She got serious speed and power. That alone, when you got speed, power, and good form, you are a top WMMA fighter. Period. Let's not play dumb. I understand it's Victoria Leonardo. I get it. And if you watch her fight against Yanin Wu, you'll see that she can be challenged. She can be pushed. She can be tested. Yanin Wu, never been a pushover. Remember, she a former UFC fighter. Yanin Wu. But that was a pretty good competitive scrap. Be sure to check that out. Like I said, it's right here on YouTube. But Wang Cong mentioned Valentina after the fight. She called out Casey O'Neill. It is officially on in the UFC's flyweight division. Wang Cong has cemented the flyweight division as the hottest female division easily. Easily. It's not even a debate anymore. Tabitha Ricci, Angela Hill, compare that fight to this one. Wang Cong was disappointed she wasn't on the main card, and her performance was more main card worthy than Angela Hill versus Tabitha Ricci. Look at how much authority Wang Cong has demanded. I mean, most people are not going to appreciate this. Most people, it's going to go right over their head. She came in to the UFC as if she owned it already. She came up in here as if she's already the champion. As if she's the uncrowned champion already. It started with the arrogance. How dare you paint your face and your hair like the Joker? Who do you think you are? You know, you paint yourself in your UFC debut, your face. When you get up in front of the world like that, and you start smiling and cheesing and grinning at your opponent, okay. But to then go in there and look scary and end the fight in a rare, extremely rare way, you talk about a monstrous statement. I know it's Victoria Leonardo. I'm talking the optics. I'm just talking about the optics. She was already undefeated. In your UFC debut, you're announced as an undefeated fighter. You win in the first round with a one-punch knockout. That's threatening. I need people to understand that. Every female fighter in the division felt threatened by that performance, including Alexa Grasso. All of them. Erin Blanchfield, Natalia Silva, Karine Silva, all of them said, whoa, uh-oh. And she got the reputation she has of having defeated Valentina Shevchenko. And she's a bit of she showboats. She's got character. She's always smiling at the camera. She always talking, always doing something, always playing, talking. Saw her walking out to the cage, talking to the people in the audience. She's a character, which is rare with the women. Look at how Victoria's looking at her right. Like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't do that and walk away with her hands raised to the sky like that. Sorry, Leonardo. You got to feel bad for Victoria. But yeah, and she's, I mean, you can't do much more than that. She could have came out all professional and square, not painted her face, not being all playful and talkative, and gotten that result. It wouldn't have been as significant or impactful without all the extras that she put into it. So whether you want to acknowledge it or not, she made a huge statement in the flyweight division. So good for her. Look forward to future fights. And since we're here, and WMMA Rankings has committed to keeping it popping, keeping us abreast, giving us pretty good highlights, we'll roll with WMMA Rankings. Now, Victoria Leonardo was darting in all night. And she just got caught right here, fell straight back, man. Smacked her head, and she was done. I mean, she didn't even try to hammer fist her, even though she could have. What was Victoria going to do? She wouldn't have been able to do nothing. She was out. Right there, that's concussion right there. You're concussed, ma'am. So that was legit. It wasn't oh, you stopped it too early. Oh, she could have continued. No. One and done. Pretty interesting. But I enjoyed the other fight as well because it was at bantamweight. And listen, Josiane Nunes can probably clobber to death that Bia Malecki and knock her out. Not these other big, strong bantamweights. She too small. She need to go back to flyweight. If she can't fight at flyweight, man, you can't be no little short, tubby fighter like that. In my opinion, at bantamweight. These girls, a lot of these girls are like not flyweights, featherweights. And they mad tall. Josiane Nunes is just not physically blessed. And that's not her only problem. She could probably get a lot more done if she had more tools. Josiane Nunes, offensively, all she got pretty much is that looping overhand right. She threw a couple good straight shots, but all the straight shots was coming from her opponent. Then she started hitting her with uppercuts, and she started coming in because of those hooks. It looked like she got that advice from her corner. It was a wrap. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but I'm happy to see some good-looking striking. Good-looking strikers at 135. I've always said that there's not that many high-level like Muay Thai fighters at bantamweight, and there hasn't been. Now, I don't know if she's Muay Thai or kickboxer, but she got perfect straight shots. Picture perfect straight punches with her power hand. Now, Nunes was in the southpaw stance. This is a big problem in the fight. Nunes was in the southpaw stance, and her only power hand was a looping. And it was just easy for her opponent to prepare for it. But she didn't have the option of straight shots. Not really. She could have thrown them, but when your opponent is taller and longer, it make the fight harder. Simple as that. You got to do all this reaching. You punching up, so you lose power. Take more energy to keep throwing upward. Take far less energy to punch downward. Far less energy. Her opponent, I felt turns her punches over pretty well. At least her straight right hand. It looked like it's already turned over as she's throwing it, actually. Yeah. But pretty good striker. I enjoyed that fight. Josiane, although she lost, she made that girl work hard. And she had the fight where she wanted it, the whole fight. It was a striking contest. So she got what she wanted. I'm talking about Cavalcante. Got what she wanted. And she was still pushed. I thought she was pushed pretty good in this fight. She was comfortable the whole fight, even though there were some moments where she was uncomfortable, running away, tripping, falling, stumbling, and, around, trying to run away from the shots rather than countering. Okay, so maybe she can work on some of her countering skills. Because what you want to do is you want to stop opponents from charging in like that. Stop them from doing that. You counter them after the first shot, they'll stop. But if you just run, it's going to embolden them. They'll just throw another one and another one, and they might catch you. Like Dricus did Israel. You got to be careful running from fighters throwing punches like that. At some point you got to stop, like Jan did against Andrade. She stopped and punched her as she was coming in. You got to do that. Right? But good for her. Look forward to her next fight. Tabitha Ricci defeated Angela Hill. A lot of people thought Tabitha Ricci actually lost. A lot of people thought Angela Hill actually won, right? Maybe even some people even here in the comment section. Ricci, I thought she lost. Prize, it was split decision. Angela showed she was more experienced fighter, but Ricci more power. And Ricci was going forward more. And I knew they was going to give the fight to Ricci. I never once thought Angela Hill was going to get the victory. Ricci, the newer fighter, and she was like the aggressor most of the fight. Tabitha Ricci coming in with no defense, head straight up in the air. But you saw Angela Hill throw a lot of raggedy punches that it's not that effective. And a lot of times Angela getting hit herself. Some of the shots Angela landed looked good. Eye-catching shots. But I thought she was allowing Ricci to look too good. And the fact that Ricci was doing a lot of the aggressor, coming forward far more, if not exclusively. I knew they was going to give Tabitha Ricci. So, but Ricci's, you saw once again, her striking is clumsy. It's not all that. It's just the fact that she's throwing punches and she got good footwork. Tabitha Ricci got good legs. If you watch, you notice the way she move around effortlessly around the cage. And the fact that she's throwing punches off good legs, if you ask me, is what helps her. It sort of makes up for the fact that her shot's kind of raggedy. She's not turning into them, don't get full extension, stuff like that. But good for her. Hopefully she can patch that up. Yeah, Victoria, she'll probably get cut. She might get cut. Who knows? She did break a losing streak. We've seen worse losing streaks, but she getting laid out, man. Like, she getting stopped. Like, she don't take shots that well. She don't take shots that well. And she might just be one of those fighters who get concussed easily. You know, they break easily. Take a few good clean shots, and they're ready to check out. It is what it is. But, yeah, good for them. I look forward to their fights. See, Josiane kind of lumped old girl up a little bit. I like her striking, man. I don't know about nobody else. I like the straight shots with her fists. I like her straight punches. And did y'all notice in this fight, this fighter here got a real good left hook. It's not just that straight right hand. It's not just a straight right hand. She got a good left hook too, and she was clobbering Nunes all night with it. When Nunes try to run in, and it's a hard little quick left hook. And I always said that no matter if you're southpaw or orthodox, you need both of your hands, really, at the very least, to have good hands, period. Got to be able to throw a hook to tame and control your opponents. And she got a pretty good left hook. Got good kicks. The push kick, all her kicks was good. So y'all better be careful with this bantamweight chick here. But most of all, y'all better be careful. People are calling her the female Pereira. They're trolling already. People could not wait to start trolling Valentina Shevchenko. Now let's segue into Valentina Shevchenko. Some people criticized me for saying that Shevchenko should probably think about retirement. And I stand by that. And I feel like Wang Cong being here is all the more reason she should think about it. It's not just Wang Cong. Also, all the other good fighters in the division. Remember, Shevchenko so far pretty much has only fought Alexa Grasso out of this new batch of fighters that recently emerged up at the top of the division. Right? Remember, Shevchenko had just gotten past Taylor Santos. We got a lot of new faces right now. And she hasn't fought Erin Blanchfield yet. She hasn't fought Manon. I'm talking about Valentina. She hasn't fought Erin Blanchfield. She has not fought Manon Fior. She hasn't fought several of these fighters. Several of these fighters that look dangerous right now. And, you know, she might be on the down. She might be on a decline at this point. I'm considering that possibility. I'm considering that possibility that she's on the decline. So is this a good time for her to get up out of there? Right? Where are these, that kind of power at? Women's flyweight is insane. You see? Said Valentina. See? Valentina's Alex Pereira. See Shevchenko. There's a number of people who can't wait to troll Valentina. Just like there's more fighters who can't wait, who want to fight her. Remember not long ago when Shevchenko was at the top of her reign, girls were scared to fight her. I had to make videos ridiculing and criticizing these fighters for not wanting to fight her. Oh, not ready for Shevchenko. Oh, she's too much right now. I need more experience. We had to shame Alexa Grasso into fighting her because Grasso was right there with him. She was right there with him talking about, oh no, not quite ready for Valentina Shevchenko. See, now tables have turned with these two fighters with fights with Alexa Grasso. Now they're like, wait a minute. Maybe she's not so invincible. Maybe I do like my chances against Valentina. And a lot of girls, I think more girls now want a piece of Valentina. That's one thing. I'm saying it's more difficult when fighters want a piece of you. You have an easier time dispatching these fighters if they're sort of fearful of you before they fight you. You're going to have a much harder time if they're fully confident and want a piece of you. Another thing is, like I said, she might be on the decline. So rather than finish her career like, I don't know, so many fighters who took a massive amount of L's on their way out, why not just hang them up? If she loses the trilogy, hang them up. Because it's bad enough to have lost, 2 fights in a draw to Grasso after being like invincible for so long. Why add on a good possibility of more losses before you check out? Look at how smart Joanna was for checking out. Remember that. And Joanna younger than Valentina. She long retired. Joanna, ain't nobody thinking about Joanna coming back. And she is not thinking about coming back. Valentina is fighting for a long time. Let's just acknowledge that. She's hanging around for a while. And is she want to go? Will she be one of those fighters who hang around for too long? I don't know. I'm just saying. Might be something you want to think about. Might be something. And you can tell that the UFC appreciates her. Especially with her reputation of having beaten Valentina Shevchenko. See, here they go again. She on her Alex Pereira arc. Now, Alex Pereira was a rare thing. There's a good chance. And look at how UFC is promoting her as the fighter who beat Shevchenko. Y'all see that, right? She defeated Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match in 2015. There you go. So, the UFC is trolling Valentina as well. And they're doing it at a time when Valentina might need to be thinking about retirement. UFC trolling her into staying longer. This is not looking good. In my opinion, it's looking kind of tight for Valentina right now. I don't want to see Valentina get humiliated on her way out. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see somebody who raised the bar like that, really a historic champion, get humiliated on their way out. Just get whooped back to back whoopings. Because let me tell you, man, Wang Cong got hard punches and kicks. That's all I'm going to say. And got a lot of speed. Grasso, just think about it. All she basically using with Valentina is her fists. And look at how much she's been able to challenge her. Just using her fists. So, I don't know. But look, if Shevchenko want to hang around, fine. I'm happy. I'd rather see her fight. Just like I'd rather see all the fighters continue to fight. But I just don't want to see you in a deteriorated state. If you're starting to fade, and it seemed to happen fast in MMA, if you're starting to deteriorate, I'd rather you take a hike than to have fighters beat a washed up version of you. You going in there, you're a shell of yourself. What good is it? Okay, sorry. I thought somebody was knocking on my door. And they shouldn't be. It's like 3:06 a.m. right now. So, yeah, I'm just saying, man. Just saying. It's looking scary now. Now, just imagine if Shevchenko was still a champion. How much heat she'd be putting up with right now. And even without the belt. She is facing some serious smoke. Not just her. Even with Alexa Grasso. I'm just as worried for Alexa Grasso. If not more so. Right? Whoever got the belt at 125. That just comes with the territory. You being in the hottest division. Whoever got the belt. You got some challenges ahead. And fights that people be looking forward to. Wei Li, all she has is Suarez right now and maybe Verna. Okay, now some of those fighters could still probably defeat Weili. I believe, she has a tough task ahead of her holding on to that belt as well. I'm not saying strawweight division, is weak and there's nobody but Weili. Not at all. Some of those fighters could take that belt. But that flyweight belt, I seriously have a hard time seeing anybody, first of all, beat or even match Shevchenko's record. Because that's the record to match at 125. Shevchenko's reign. What was that? 6 title defenses? Nobody about to make that. Not even Shevchenko, if you ask me. She get that belt back. She is not making those 6 title defenses. Not again. And I don't see nobody else. Now understand. You got Macy Barber, on a pretty good win streak. But she seemed like she ducking. She's ducking. You ducking Macy. It's some smoke Macy don't want. But you got Rose there too. People think what they want, but she might eke out a boring decision over Grasso. Who knows? But she could fight Rose. You think Shevchenko beats Rose? Nah, I would take Shevchenko in that fight. I'd take Shevchenko over Rose. Rose is about to fight Erin Blanchfield, and she might lose that fight. Okay? But Erin, even though she lost to Manon, Manon is going to beat somebody else. I don't think this is Manon's last victory in the UFC. She going to whoop either a Grasso, Shevchenko, somebody. A Barber, she might beat somebody. And she might be a tough fight for Shevchenko. Just look at the style. Barber got this big tumbling forward style and throwing these big hard shots. That might be just the style that Shevchenko don't like. Remember, all the highlights Grasso have is really where she's teeing off on Valentina. Kind of like how Macy Barber does. Right? Do you think Valentina's going to clinch Macy Barber's big wide back? Huh? Barber throwing shots. You think Shevchenko just put her in a tight clinch? I don't know. And also, Karine Silva, Natalia Silva. Do you think that's an easy fight for Grasso? Let's say Natalia Silva. Do you think that's an easy fight for Grasso or Shevchenko? Or Manon? That's hard for me to believe. Hard to believe. Karine Silva. She looked human. She was humanized. And, it's a possibility she loses. Just like with Silva and everybody else. But it's a possibility she wins. She looked like a hard fight to me. For anybody. She looked like a hard fight to me. I'm not worried about Tracy Cortez. Not even really so much Viviane Araújo. Jasmine. That's pretty much for the flyweight division. Okay, fine. But even with that. But look at this. Pretty much their whole top 10, minus Amanda Ribas, and who knows, Jessica could probably still clobber some people. Right? Who knows? But I don't see nobody just holding on to that belt. That ain't happening. But even with that, now you got some unranked flyweights. There used to only be a thing at strawweight, where you had a bunch of unranked talents. Now, if you ask me, that's more so with the flyweight division now. Right? Even though they still got Loma at strawweight and a lot of good unranked fighters, yeah, it's pretty much a wrap. All eyes on the flyweight division. Now, they made this trilogy with Shevchenko, and they have set that date for What they set the date for? I think October. Isn't that right? Okay, I thought I just had it. I think it's October. Okay, where is it? Let me see here. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, what is this? September. June, July, August, September. What? Next month? That's less than a month away. Okay. And boy, oh boy, this fight, okay, it's in Nevada. In Nevada at the Sphere. But it's on Mexican Independence Day. Mexican Independence Day. Well, I need people to understand. Mexican Independence Day. In Nevada, you're in Mexico. You may as well be in Mexico. That's why Floyd used to fight on these Mexican holidays, and he would always be in Nevada. So for anybody thinking that, oh, it's kind of neutral grounds now, even if Shevchenko was sold that. Remember, she was trying to get it on neutral grounds. Nah, it ain't so much on neutral grounds. Alexa still got the advantage. And I think Alexa, no, she's not a U.S. citizen, right? I think Alexa still lives in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. So neither one of them a U.S. citizen. So take that however you want. September 16th. Okay. Yeah, it's like the same weekend, I think, right? Not the exact date, but, same fighting weekend or whatever. Valentina got her hands full. She's about to fight an Alexa Grasso with how many rounds of experience? All 5 in the most recent fight, plus another 3 from the first fight. A lot of rounds of experience. She's used to the Shevchenko style, Shevchenko pacing. A big reason why I'm taking Grasso is because I don't believe Valentina can change her pace or her style. I don't think she will. She probably can if she wanted to, but I don't think she's willing to sort of turn into a different fighter, a fighter outside of how she's always fought. And I think that's going to be her undoing. I think that's what lost her the title and what got her the draw. And I thought she lost the rematch. So we'll see. But I just think I think it's more likely that she fights the same way she's always fought. I'm talking about Valentina Shevchenko. I think that is the most likely thing to happen. And if it does, the way she's always fought is not enough. If this is the same type of fight that they had in the rematch, Grasso gets that decision. That's just what it is. That's how it's going down. If it's the same fight as the rematch, it ain't going to be no draw. They're giving Grasso that fight. And that's what I expect to happen. If there's no stoppage, I expect Grasso to win the decision. Because if it go all 5 rounds, Grasso gonna have her moments. You know, she's used to Shevchenko. I believe if Shevchenko was gonna change the way she fights, she would have done it already. She would have done it already. But you know, it's just not happening. So we'll see. Interesting stuff. Yeah, she's very stubborn, very stuck in her ways, even though she can come out of her shell. She came out of her shell against Priscilla. You never see her unloading the combinations like that no more. Where she's, throwing 3-4 punch combinations. Very careful about opening up, whereas Grasso will open up. She's willing to take some shots, Alexa Grasso. And when you got good offense and you're willing to take shots, dangerous fighters, those are difficult fighters to have to deal with. If you don't knock them out or hurt them or get some real respect, you're going to have your hands full all night. And I will leave it there. I'm satisfied with tonight's card. I will see y'all on the next live stream.